throughout the pages of our history, and now it's being written right in Surfside. It's been written by the extraordinary men and women of our search and rescue team, the first responders who ran directly into the collapsed building to pull people out, and those who've been risking their lives for others without pause or question for the last 11 days. It's been written by all of those who've rallied and all of those who've come together in a time of unspeakable grief and great need. This July 4th, we're reminded that patriotism isn't just about loyalty to country, it's about loyalty to one another, to our communities, to those in need, whose names or stories we may not know ever, but to whom we are connected by compassion and by resilience. We have seen more than ever how, at the end of the day, we really have each other. That is what we have, each other. I truly am grateful for that. So this 4th of July holiday, I hope you'll be able to take a moment and tell the people in your life how much you love them, how much you appreciate them. Celebrate the values of loyalty, of justice, and generosity of experience that we hold so dear as Americans. Thank you, and God bless. Buenos días a todos. Aquí estamos al comienzo del día 11. Y, por supuesto, también es el día 4 de julio. El número de muertes confirmados sigue siendo el mismo esta mañana, 24, con las 24 identificadas ahora y las familias notificadas. Se contabilizan 191 personas y 121 que están desaparecidas todavía. Quiero recordarles que los detectives están auditando constantemente nuestra lista de personas potencialmente desaparecidas para que las cifras sigan cambiando. Nuestro equipo de demolición comenzó su trabajo ayer y regresó al lugar temprano esta mañana mientras se realizan los preparativos para la demolición. Como mencionamos ayer, el esfuerzo de búsqueda y rescate tuvo que detenerse temporalmente mientras se llevan a cabo los preparativos a fin de garantizar la seguridad de nuestros socorristas en el lugar, dada nuestra preocupación constante por la estructura permanente. Tan pronto como sea posible, después de que el edificio esté derribado, cuando el sitio se haya considerado seguro y se nos haya dado el visto bueno, nuestros equipos de búsqueda y rescate reanudarán inmediatamente sus operaciones en el derrumbe. Continuamos monitoreando de cerca los posibles impactos de la tormenta tropical Elsa, ya que las condiciones climáticas peligrosas podrían obligarnos a detener temporalmente el trabajo por la seguridad de los primeros en responder. Y oramos por los impactos limitados de la tormenta en Surfside para que podamos continuar la operación lo antes posible, a medida que se completa la demolición y se despeja el sitio. Quiero enfatizar, como siempre, que todavía no sabemos una hora específica en que ocurrirá la demolición, pero vamos a notificar cuando sabemos. También quiero animar a todos en el área a cerrar todas las ventanas, puertas y otras entradas de aire y cubrir cualquier otra abertura que pueda permitir que el polvo entre en su apartamento, casa o edificio cuando se lleve a cabo la demolición. También estamos creando un perímetro seguro para evitar que las personas se acerquen demasiados al sitio de demolición. Necesitamos su cooperación para mantener a nuestra comunidad segura y minimizar las molestias durante este proceso. Mientras monitoreamos los posibles impactos de Tropical Elsa, se han realizado todos los preparativos necesarios del condado y nuestros departamentos están activados y listos. Seguimos animando a nuestros residentes a que se mantengan preparados y seguros este fin de semana. El 4 de julio es normalmente un momento para reunirnos con los seres queridos y celebrar nuestra libertad y independencia. Este año las vacaciones se ven muy diferentes, ya que nuestros pensamientos están con las víctimas de esta terrible tragedia. los que perdieron la vida, los que perdieron sus hogares y los que perdieron a un ser querido. Este 4 de julio se nos recuerda que el patriotismo no se trata solo de nuestra lealtad al país, se trata de nuestra lealtad los unos a los unos y otros, a nuestras comunidades, a las necesidades cuyos nombres o historias quizás nunca sepamos, pero con quienes estamos conectados por compasión y por resiliencia. Hemos visto más que nunca cómo al final del día todo lo realmente tenemos son los unos a los otros. En este feriado de 4 de julio, espero que puedan tomarse un momento para decirles a las personas en su vida cuánto las aman y para celebrar los valores de lealtad, justicia y generosidad, de espíritu que tanto apreciamos como estadounidenses. Gracias y oramos.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Chairman for the Board of County Commissioners, Commissioner Jose Diaz.
Thank you. Madam Mayor, your words are profound and very appreciated, especially when we live in the greatest country in the world. And today we celebrate the independence. Unfortunately, in Dade County, not many people are celebrating due to the tragic loss of life. But we still are inspired due to the freedom that we share. There's so many men and women are fighting every day to make sure that freedom stays intact. So we want to think of all of them and thank all that have been involved, especially our first responders and everybody, especially our employees in Miami-Dade County also that have done an incredible job. So I want to thank all of them. And as we move forward, I want to state that the leadership from the state, the federal government, and everybody involved in working together has never been seen before, the way we have worked together and done in such a professional and good manner and in communication in every aspect of it. So we want to thank my colleagues, and I want to make sure that that thank you gets out to all. We have worked, as you know, Madam Mayor, and all those, that we have been working for the last 4 days with South Florida Water Management to make sure that our water systems is adequate enough to receive a large impact of rain that could be coming from the storm that is approaching. We're blessed, and hopefully in Miami-Dade County that storm is not a direct impact and it is moving away from us, but we're still going to receive a lot of water and wind, and that is important. We are made sure that the adequate amount of spacing inside those canals to receive that amount of water has been adjusted and done. So I want to thank South Florida Water Management for that continuous support and help to us. This is something that will continue in a very hard day today. As the mayor said, when this building's demolition takes place today, or when it does take place, to those families, we're with you. We'll continue to be with you as you continue with your pain. And again, together as one, working together to the common goal. Quiero darle las gracias a la alcaldesa por su palabra y sus hechos en la forma de cubrir, detallar que vivimos también en el mejor país del mundo. Este país es un país increíble, que tenemos que darle las gracias a todos aquellos que hoy están celebrando la libertad de este país y la independencia. Y esa independencia se está celebrando alrededor de todo el país, pero en Miami-Dade County la celebración no es igual por el desastre que hemos sufrido acá. Mucha gente está sufriendo mucho y simplemente por eso es que la celebración no es igual este año para todos los otros. Estamos unidos, estamos agradecidos a todos trabajo que se ha hecho desde el Estado, el gobierno federal, el gobierno de los otros, del condado, todo el mundo trabajando en conjunto para buscar la mejoría de estas circunstancias. Mis colegas y yo le damos las gracias a tantas personas que están trabajando y que están haciendo la diferencia en nuestra comunidad. Llevamos ya 4 días trabajando con el manejo de agua del estado de la Florida para asegurar que no tengamos las inundaciones con el agua que posiblemente lo va a tocar de esta tormenta de Elsa en los días que siguen. Eso es algo importante para muchos que sepan, porque viven en áreas que se han inundado anteriormente, que todo lo que el sistema ha necesitado para descargar agua se ha hecho, y le estoy dando las gracias también al sistema de agua de manejo del estado de la Florida. También tengo que darle las gracias a tantos que conjuntos hemos trabajado juntos para asegurarlo que esta circunstancia se maneje en la mejor forma posible, especialmente con traer este edificio hacia abajo, que se va a hacer hoy o más tardar mañana cuando se haga, cuando se diga, que estamos pensando en esas familias que están sufriendo tanto en estos momentos, en todo lo que han pasado, y arriba de eso aquellos que están verdaderamente orgullosos de este país, como soy yo, que vivimos en el mejor país que vivimos. De nuevo, hoy es el día de nuestra independencia, y aquellos que lo celebren en la mejor forma que pueden. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. National Weather Service, Robert Molleda.
Good morning. We're continuing to closely watch Tropical Storm Elsa, and the forecast is still for the storm to move over the Gulf of Mexico on late Monday night and Tuesday. So for South Florida, that means that we still have the potential for some wind gusts to tropical storm force. That would be for Monday and for Tuesday. Depending on how close the storm tracks to South Florida, then that potential for strong winds could increase further. But for now, at the very least, the potential for some wind gusts to over 40 miles an hour, with some of these showers that'll be increasing during the day tomorrow as well as on Tuesday. We also have the threat of heavy rainfall, which could cause some localized flooding, and again, that time frame is also for Monday and Tuesday. There are no tropical storm watches in effect for southeast Florida, including Miami-Dade County. However, we're continuing to closely monitor the situation, and with each forecast, we'll be potentially updating that information. But again, for now, there are no watches in effect for southeast Florida, but we still need to continue to watch the situation closely and be prepared for those gusty winds and heavy rainfall tomorrow and Tuesday. Thank you. Brevemente en español, seguimos siguiendo la tormenta tropical Elsa, el progreso del sistema, sobre todo ya cuando para mañana y el martes, cuando la tormenta se debe estar moviendo hacia el norte, cerca de la costa oeste de la Florida. Para el condado de Miami-Dade se esperan ráfagas de vientos posiblemente aproximándose a fuerzas de tormenta tropical de 40 millas por hora, tan pronto como el día de mañana y continuando el día martes. Estas ráfagas van a ocurrir con los aguaceros que van a moverse sobre la zona. También lluvias fuertes son posibles mañana y el martes, que pudieran provocar inundaciones localizadas. No hay vigilancia en estos momentos oficial en cuanto a tormenta tropical para el sureste de la Florida. Sin embargo, debemos de continuar monitoreando muy de cerca la situación con cada pronóstico que se emite, y si algo cambia, obviamente los vamos a dejar saber. Gracias.
Thank you, Mr. Molleda. Division Director for the Office of Emergency Management, Deputy Incident Commander Charles Cyril.
Good morning, everyone. In close collaboration with the National Weather Service, the Miami-Dade County Office of Emergency Management is closely monitoring the path of Tropical Storm Elsa, and we encourage our residents and visitors to do the same. For information on our activities, you can sign up for miamidade.gov/alerts or miamidade.gov/hurricane. Regardless of Tropical Storm Elsa's ultimate path, we still expect tropical storm force gusts in our area and through bands and heavy rain and storms. They're also concerned regarding potential flooding and tornadoes. For that reason, it is important for everybody to secure their items and belongings and property today. As part of the county's own preparatory activity, we have relocated our unified command to the Emergency Operations Center in Doral. Our Family Assistance Center also remains open, and the operating hours are 12 to 5 p.m. daily. Thank you, everyone, and happy Independence Day.
Thank you, sir. In Spanish for the Deputy Incident Commander, Miami-Dade Fire Rescue Director of Media and Public Relations, Erica Benitez.
Muy buenos días. Continuamos monitoreando la tormenta Elsa y alentamos a todos los residentes del condado de Miami-Dade que hagan lo mismo. Puede registrarse si necesita recibir actualización o información sobre esta tormenta visitando miamidade.gov/alerts o miamidade.gov/hurricane en inglés. También puede llamar a nuestro centro del condado al 311, que está abierto de 8 de la mañana a las 7 de la noche. Independientemente de la trayectoria final de esta tormenta, todavía esperamos ráfagas fuertes de tormenta y bandas de lluvia. También existe preocupación respecto a inundaciones, marejadas ciclónicas y tornados en gran parte del sur de la Florida. Por esta razón es muy importante que todos en sus hogares aseguren su propiedad y también sus pertenencias hoy mismo si es posible. Como parte de nuestra actividad preparatoria del condado, hemos trasladado nuestras operaciones al Centro de Operaciones de Emergencia en El Doral. Y aunque hemos detenido temporalmente la misión de búsqueda y rescate, nuestro Centro de Asistencia Familiar permanece en pleno funcionamiento y seguirá brindando los servicios necesarios para las familias que lo necesiten. Hoy el Centro de Asistencia Familiar estará abierto de 12 de la tarde a 4 de la tarde y mañana volverá a estar abierto entre las 12 de la tarde y 5. Mil gracias.
Thank you, Erica. Florida Division of Emergency Management Director Kevin Guthrie.
Good afternoon. The state of Florida continues to remain engaged in the incident here in Miami-Dade with the Surfside building collapse. All state agencies are still represented here in some way, form, or fashion, even though we are also responding to Tropical Storm Elsa. For the Federal Emergency Management Agency, I'll report that they have had 75 individual assistance applications for individuals impacted by this storm. Moving to Tropical Storm Elsa, as the governor has said, more people pass from our post-disaster, or what we call indirect deaths, related to tropical cyclones in the last 4 years than those associated with direct deaths. So please heed the governor's warning, heed your local emergency manager's warnings on the safe operation of generators, safe operation of chainsaws, removing limbs and things that are off of ladders. Please heed those warnings. As we get ready to start honing in on the area around Tampa Bay area, as well as the Nature Coast and Big Bend, I would encourage people now to again start picking up their limbs, make sure that those are secured, those items are secured around your area, around your home. This area is very susceptible to large live oaks, water oak type trees that will bring down power. Again, be ready to be without power for an extended period of time, even though this is a tropical storm. We've had a lot of rain, a lot of water into that central area of Florida over the last 10 to 15 days, so please be ready for those types of problems as we face Tropical Storm Elsa. The last thing I would say is please listen to your local emergency manager for special needs evacuations, power-dependent evacuations, things of that nature. Your local emergency manager will know what is best for your situation. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. And for Creole translation, Cassandra Arnold.
Alors, nom c'est Cassandra Arnaud, directeur service résidentiel et directeur affaires haïtiens. Magistrat veut dire tout le monde merci pour prier nous. Je dis à nous gagnons 24 morts confirmés, nous localiser 191 moun, mais nous besoin joindre 121 moun. Nous suspendons toute activité dans le site Surfside là, pendant nous préparer pour démolition. Nous continuons travail avec FEMA, police et l'autre bureau l'État. Nou vle tout moun pran prekosyon padan nou prepare pou Tropical Storm Elsa, paske nap gen yon pil la pli. Maman sa vreman difisil pou nou tout, men nou vle di merci ankon pou tout sa kominote a fe. Merci.
Thank you, Cassandra. And we also have present, along with our leaders, Miami-Dade Police Director Alfredo Ramirez. We have Miami-Dade Fire Rescue Chief Arthur Holmes to answer questions, and also our county engineers from the Department of Regulatory and Economic Services to answer questions regarding the building. Any questions to start off, ma'am? Please address who it's going to be to.
Yes, it would be for Commissioner Diaz, please. Judy Block, ABC News. When you talk about this, the water management coming and working out, moving water from the area, can you get into some detail on how that works? And then specifically, are they doing something around the building site to ensure that that area has been treated to remove water?
South Florida Water Management's job is to make sure they monitor and move the waters around South Florida. They do it through canals, gates, the gates and canals and structures that make sure those waters are held or released depending on the need. Their sole job is to make sure that the adequate amount of waters and retention is done. For many years, we've had a great relationship with them in making sure that we don't have an abundance of water in these canal systems, because that way, if there is abundance of water and we have the large rainstorms that come in, then the water just moves on onto people's properties, into their houses. So therefore, working together with them, we are able to make sure that the water is expedited in the fastest process when a storm is approaching into the ocean and away from the possible flooding situations. As to the site is close to the ocean, and it doesn't really affect the canal systems as needed, but other things do. But working with them, and I appreciate it to the governor and to everybody in the state, the work that they do. And for us, it's very important, because a storm like this that brings a lot of water, that could bring 12 to 14 inches of water, will be devastating for us, especially if it's done in such a fast magnitude. So by them doing what they do, it makes our life a lot better. Thank you, ma'am.
More than 12,000 people signed a petition to stop the demolition until the last Fed this last year. What do you want to say?
So we are putting together a detailed description of all of the efforts that have been made to rescue pets from this building, which have been very substantial and have continued. So we'll be reporting more about that at our next briefing, and can assure everybody, as I, who love their pets, that every effort has been made and is being made to save pets in the area.
Mayor, Governor, Ron with NBC. What is the level of confidence that this building will be demolished in its controlled, defined area?
So we do have some engineers here who could speak possibly, but we have been assured that this company that is doing the demolition has done this safely in other areas within a defined footprint. The footprint has been defined, and we will be reporting the details of that to you.
And to what extent are you concerned after the demolition? To what extent are you concerned about the storm impacting that rubble site and potential debris flying through the community?
At this time, because we're looking at possible tropical storm force gusts, I think we feel confident that we're in good shape, but I certainly defer to our weather, our weatherman on the topic. And the engineer.
Yeah, just to really to repeat what the mayor said, we're expecting primarily tropical storm force gusts. The general recommendation to the community is to bring in lightweight objects that are outside that can be blown around in the wind. Now, I mean, I can't specify or I can't speak specifically to anything that's there at the debris site. But again, the general recommendation for tropical storm force winds, or winds of 40 miles an hour or higher, are for lightweight objects to be brought in. So that's, again, the general recommendation for the community.
Also, a cover has been laid on the part of the debris field that is closest to the building, And if you have any questions, we have our fire chief here to answer as to that.
A question for the mayor, please. Jason with CNN. You addressed this earlier and also yesterday. We would like to re-ask, please. Will any residents in the nearby condos or anywhere be evacuated before the demolition?
No additional evacuations are anticipated. We are going to send out a notice to all of the area residents as to the things that we mentioned here about the closing of the windows and the doors, et cetera, and not to be outside.
How much time before the demolition will those effects go into place?
We will give adequate notice to the area residents, and of course, everybody is on standby.
Yes, thank you. First, I have a question for the mayor, but could I make a request that the engineer experts you all mentioned would stay after so we ask these technical questions that they have time? She's so nodding. That would be fantastic. Madam Mayor, question. What's the timing for the the timing for the warnings to residents nearby? It sounds like you were saying they should turn off their air conditioning. And will the BD get the same notice, or do we have to run down these notices to the residents?
We are going to provide you, as we always do, with up-to-date information as soon as we have it. We will be giving the residents adequate notice so that they can prepare. Again, they're on standby, and again, we do not anticipate any deleterious effects. So as to the specifics, let's call up the engineers. About the air conditioning and so on.
Sorry. So good evening or good afternoon, everybody. My name is Edward Rojas. I'm the building official for Miami-Dade County. I've been asked to come and represent our department as an observer and to support these efforts. I know that there's a lot of plans and protocols in place right now that I'm going to be looking into right now. But this is a process that heavily relies on the expertise of the contractors and of the engineers who are putting this plan together in coordination with public safety officers of Miami-Dade County Fire and Police. I'm not quite sure of that. It should have been, that should have been part of the process, should have been working in parallel with all the other efforts going right now. So notifications are part of that process, and I know that they were working on those as early as yesterday. I didn't catch that question.
That's what we're advising them, to turn off their air conditioning.
And how much assurance were you given by this demolition company that this would go as planned?
Oh, yeah.
So, as the governor said yesterday, the state of Florida is paying for this and assisting the local government. This is a unified effort, but we are picking up that side of the house. This contractor and the subcontractor is internationally known. He's one of only about 3 people that do this in the business. We picked the best of the 3 that we had, and went with it. We have extreme confidence in his methodology, and he has explained his methodology at a layman's level to us. We're confident that he is going to be able to bring the building down and not interfere with the rest of the site. And within a matter of minutes, as Mayor Cava has already pointed out, they will be back on the scene, back into search and rescue.
Yes. So actually, this is a question for the police, who are handling the review of the evidentiary debris. So I'll leave it to our police director.
Good afternoon. Our homicide detectives that are on the scene working with the fire rescue personnel have an area in their village, investigative village, where they're collecting items that are retrievable and are logging them and documenting them at this time. As far as family members being able to go on the rubble, I don't see that happening. That's still a very dangerous site, but our detectives are very mindful and very respectful on any type of family heirlooms that we come across, and it's safe to get it. We pick it up and we log it, document it to be, addressed at a later date with family members.
Explain about the forms that they're using.
That's correct. Also, for our survivors or family members, we have a system in place through our state partners where they're able to log in and put down property that they may be looking for, so that we can look through that as we go through this process moving forward.
They're on site. They've been on site since early morning. They were on site yesterday. They're preparing the building. They explained to us in great detail, as was mentioned, exactly how this will work. And as soon as they give us the go-ahead, we will communicate that to the families, we'll communicate to the area residents, and we will communicate it to you.
Mayor Burkett said it's going down about 80% of the way there. Is that a number that we should?
I'm not sure exactly at this point, and since he spoke to you, they've been continuing to work.
Thank you, folks.
Is that the 11? Yes, that's the 11.